The purpose of this video is to show you how to use the advanced controls that we programmed into our controller. And the first one that I'm going to walk you through is how to pause the actual emulation. So not just pausing the game itself with the start button, but actually pausing the emulation through the emulator. And if you recall, we programmed this bottom right button to be that pause button, to pause emulation. So right now you can see the emulation is paused. And the way I know is because the music isn't playing. So as soon as I push this button, I'm going to unpause it. And now the emulation is going, right? There's a little animation going. I can hear the music playing. But if I were to push that pause button again, notice everything stops moving. There's no music playing. I have actually paused the emulation. I'll hit it one more time to get the emulation going back again. And now I just want to prove that it's different. If I were to pause the game through the start button, that's what it looks like there. So it's paused through the start button, and now here it's paused through the emulator. And I find this function particularly useful when I want the music to be off, if I'm looking at a walkthrough and I need to read through a page or two before I continue playing the game. The next control I wanted to illustrate was the other bottom button, this bottom left button. And if you recall, we programmed this to be the toggle full screen button. So when I open up the emulator, if I want it to be full screen, I can just push this button, and now I can play the game full screen, which I really enjoy because it creates kind of a more immersive experience. And then if I ever need to access the regular menus, I can again hit my toggle full screen button right here, and it will go down to a normal window, and I can access the different menus that I may need. The next control I wanted to illustrate was that kind of fast forward button, the button that helps speed up the gameplay. So when you're doing monotonous tasks like that long walk back to the Poke Center to heal up, or if you're walking through the tall grass to try to find just the right Pokemon, there's a button that we can push that's going to help that process go faster. So as you kind of see me right now, I'm not moving very fast. This is the typical speed of the game. But notice, if I hit my fast forward button, right, this top X button that we programmed to be the fast forward button that speeds up gameplay, now when I push that button and I move, now I'm moving significantly faster. So that long walk back to the Poke Center to heal up is going to be a lot quicker. And again, that long walk through the tall grass to try to find a Pokemon is going to go a lot faster. And also you'll notice that the battle sequences go much faster as well. So if I want to go through, when I've got the gameplay faster, it goes through these things significantly faster. So you can level up your Pokemon faster. So again, to turn this off, now I'm again going to hit that same fast forward button. And now you can hear the music goes back to normal, the speed of the game goes back to normal, and that's how that functionality works. Last thing I wanted to bring to your attention, if you want to tinker around with different fast forward speeds, you can go here to emulation. You can go to fast forward speed. Remember, we set it at 3x, but if you want it to be a little slower, you can go to 2x. If you want it to be fast, you can go to 4x, 5x, even up to 10x. And that would be up to what your personal preference is. The next control I wanted to walk you through was the rewind function that we programmed here to button Y. And this is especially useful if let's say your Pokemon is really low on health and you're walking through the tall grass and you encounter a random battle that you really don't want to deal with. Well, in that situation, you can just rewind and go right back to where you started from. So I'm going to kind of quickly illustrate this. Let's say my Pokemon is really low on health. I'm walking through the tall grass. I get this battle, and for whatever reason, maybe I'm looking for a different Pokemon, or I'm looking for a Pokemon with a different level, right? I just want to rewind this and go back to where I was. So I can hit my rewind button here, which is the Y button. I'm going to tap and hold this button. That's key. I have to hold this button in order to rewind those frames. So I'm holding it, it's rewinding, and we give it a few moments. Still holding that button, and now I'm back to where I started from. So I can kind of walk through here without having to deal with that battle. The last controls I wanted to illustrate were the L2 and the R2 buttons that we programmed as our save state and as our load state. This is something that is incredibly helpful right before you get to a really difficult part of the game. You can just quickly save the state of the game with this one key. you'll select the slot you want it to go in, and then you can do that hard part. And if it doesn't work out, you can click this button right here to load up and go right back to where you started right before the difficult part. So here, I'm going to kind of quickly illustrate this. Before I go into this patch of grass, I'm going to save the state of my game by hitting L2. Now, it's going to ask me to select the slot, so I'm going to select this one right here that's highlighted by hitting the A button. And now you notice it says that my state 1 is saved. So now, I'm comfortable going into these bushes because I know if something goes wrong and if I lose a battle, and I'm going to lose this battle on purpose so you can see. So now we can see I lost that battle. I'm out of usable Pokemon. I black out. And I'm back here. Now, if I want to quickly go back to where I was before I lost that battle, remember I can use this R2 button, this load state button. Click R2. Select where I saved from by hitting this A button here. And now I'm right back to where I was before that battle. And I didn't have to reset the game and go through the entire start menu and continue from there. I was able to quickly, with one click of the button, save the game. And then if something went wrong, quickly with one click of the button, load back.